Hello, everybody, or anybody. Let's see here. Thought maybe I'd try to play a little music tonight, since Patrick's not doing it. Let's see here. There we go. If you can hear this music, let me know if it's too loud or not loud enough. Hi, Trish. Hey, Trevor. Ed. I'm going to put the link out if any of you guys want to pop up. I'm going to throw it on here. How's the music sound? Or can you hear it? Hey, Mick. Can you hear me okay? The music or my voice? Let's see. What about this one? Okay. I'll just turn it off if it's not working right. I thought maybe we could talk about some Americana artists, some alt country roots. I don't know what you call it, but it's a type of music that I really got into heavily in the late 90s through probably the late 2000s, and I really went all in on outlaw country. Hey, Scotty. I put a link up above if you want to join us. And there's, I've got, like, this is country here to there, but then from here all the way to the last one, that's all alternative country. We've got Doug Somm, Townes Van Zandt, David Rawlings, Tony Joe White, Lucinda Williams, John Prine, Graham Parsons, Jason Isbell, Nancy Griffith, Robbie Fulks. Robbie Fulks is one of my favorite artists. Hey, George. Hey, Sam. Hey, come on up. I put the link up ahead. Scroll up and get it. Let's talk about this music. But anyways, I was so deep into it, and I really love Whiskey Town, which is Ryan Adams' alternative country album. Great album. Jason Isbell's a great songwriter. I'm trying a new beer tonight. It's not too bad. Yeah, thanks. I try to keep, when you got a lot of records, if you want to find anything, you got to be organized. So even my 45s, I've got them, like 45s with a picture sleeve are in these boxes, without a picture sleeve or another box, but everything's alphabetical. Hey, Daydream Vinyl. Thanks, everybody, for stopping in. I appreciate it. Originally, I wanted to try to play some of these songs and talk about them a little bit, or at least talk about the artists. Like right now, I'm playing Ash Grove by Dave Alvin. True. Trish, I'm not a big fan of, I guess to me, Bella Fleck would be more bluegrass. And a little bit of bluegrass goes a long way with me. I don't know. I don't connect with it. Now, I could be wrong, but I think when I think Bela Fleck, I think bluegrass. Okay, sounds good, Sam. The band, definitely. Neil Young, some of his stuff. Yeah. I don't know if you've heard Nancy Griffith. I love her stuff. She passed away a few years ago, but I was lucky enough to have seen her play several times. Once with the Crickets, as her backing band. So that was really interesting. And I used to always record shows that I would go to. I had a little mini DAT recorder, digital analog tape, and I had some stealth microphones that I used to clip onto my glasses, and they would just stick out a little bit. And I'd record a lot of the shows that I went to. And I remember doing Nancy Griffith's show in Seattle. Oh, he's more jazz. Okay. Like I went to see Molly Tuttle, and after 30 minutes, I really thought she was amazing. But after 30 minutes, it all started to sound the same to me. And I kind of get this same feeling with Billy Strings, but maybe I'm just not giving him a chance. I don't know. I know you're a big bluegrass fan, Sam. Sorry I had to say that, but yeah, it was very good. I had never heard her before. I went to the show based on stuff that I had heard people talking about. And yeah, great band. It was fun. But like I said, after about 30 minutes, it was like, oh, I'm thinking, okay, let's wind this up. I don't think I've ever listened to Nickel Creek. Ever. Now I saw Old Crow Medicine Show. They opened, and then they were the backing band for David Rawlings when he did the something Friends album, I think. But great show. I'm a big fan of David Rawlings. If you come up on screen, I'll tell you a story about meeting him. It's pretty funny. And he's very into audiophile stuff. I mean, with him, everything's got to be analog, everything. And then I guess they're involved in this pressing plant that, who just did a pressing plant in the Midwest somewhere? But I think he's involved in that. Yeah, Sam, I'm the same way with the blues. Really, I am. Got a little bit of it. All sounds the same after a while. Now, I don't know if you can hear it, but I'm playing Lucinda Williams' Metal Firecracker. First time I ever saw her was around 96, 97. She opened for Bob Dylan at the local fairgrounds here, the Puyallup Fairgrounds. And I think Cars on a Gravel Road was the album she was promoting. And I didn't like it at all. I didn't like her voice. But I came to the point where I really like Lucinda. Cool, Travis. Jack White. I don't know. He's very talented, but again, I was not a fan of the White Stripes. I don't know why. It just didn't speak to me. Essence is good. Yeah. I've tried doing a few of her songs at open mics. Yeah, I'd say he might be garage rock. Yeah, he's a very, very talented guy, and does great stuff for the vinyl, world. So he's pressing records. So more power to him. But I don't know if anybody's heard of this guy or not. Robbie Fulks. Amazing guitar player, great songwriter. Can do all kinds of stuff. He actually did an entire album that was nothing but Michael Jackson cover songs. But then he'll go totally country. He's got this album, which is basically a bluegrass record. And this is from 2023. And it says, before Sturgill Simpson or Chris Stapleton, there was Robbie Fulks. And Sam Bush is on this, Sierra Hull, Ronnie McCrory, Tim O'Brien, Allison Brown, John Cowan, and Jerry Douglas. So if you're a bluegrass fan, this is something I highly recommend. Yeah, Chauncey, if that is your name. I've only ever done it once, Chauncey, and that was under the clinical supervision of a doctor. I do not know John Paul White. What year was the first Rolling Stones record released? I'm going to say 64. And wasn't there a second single, I Want to Be Your Man? First single, I'm not sure. Oh, speaking of Robbie Fulks, go on YouTube and look for a song he did called Fuck This Town. It's some of the best songwriting. There's little puns in it. There's little innuendos. And it's all about him going to Nashville because they said money grows right on the trees. And I went to pick some. And of course, he gets turned down. He doesn't make it. So he writes this whole song about how he does not like Nashville. It's called Fuck This Town. And then if you're a fan of Fountains of Wayne, he did a song called Fountains of Wayne Hotline, where you can call their hotline if you want your song, you're recording a song and you want it to sound like Fountains of Wayne. It's a very funny song, but musically it's really good. So check that one out. Robbie Fulks, Fountains of Wayne Hotline. Now, the Civil Wars I've heard of, Scotty, but I've never listened to them. Okay, I see what you did there. Man, I wish I could play this music, figure out how to play it through here. So what are we listening to now? Let's see. Johnny Cash and Bob Dylan, I Walk the Line. The Dylan Cash Sessions. I still use iTunes. No, Richard. No. Don't start that shit. I'm going to give you one. Let's just see. Let's see. Hey, Frank. I'm hoping to get some panel going and talk about alt country, Americana stuff. A little music in the house. No, I can't tell you how to run a successful music store because I had it for 11 years, so I guess it was successful. But you got to love it. You got to love doing that. That's the only way. It will never work. Paul is dead. Miss him, miss him, miss him. See, I did have to deal with a shoplifter. I had used turntables also, and these kids came in once, and they took the head shell off of the turntable, and they were kind of milling around. And as they were going towards the door, I looked over at the turntable and I saw it was gone. And I chased those little shits about 2 blocks. They got away, and believe it or not, maybe 4 hours later, one of the kids came back and gave it to me. He said, I'm sorry. We took this. I'm sorry. I said, okay, that's cool. I was shit, I couldn't believe he came back. No, I sold my store in 2008. And I think that was the second year that they did Record Store Day. And I told the guy that bought it from me, who was a good friend of mine, he played keyboards in our band. Okay, Sam. So he wanted to buy it. He said, if you ever want to sell this store, let me know. So I ended up selling it to him. And I said, you really need to look into this thing, Record Store Day. I think you can make some serious money on it, He wasn't interested. So never happened. Now I'm playing a song by Ray Wiley Hubbard, another guy I really like. I've gotten to see him 3 or 4 different times. Always a good show. The album that made me a fan of him was called Snake Farm. It just sounds nasty. Pretty much is. Every once in a while, a kid gets bit down at the snake farm. It's a good song. And here he is. Hey, Sam.
Hey, Harry.
Thanks for popping up.
Yeah, you are welcome.
I did think of you when I said Americana. I thought, yeah. And Elliot did a really nice review of the Guy Clark album.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, and it's a fantastic album. I got a bunch of Guy Clark stuff here. One of the greatest songwriters ever.
I think the only Guy Clark related thing that I have is the Steve Earle tribute album by him.
For Guy Clark?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, that's all I have.
Yeah, I've got this is a 2 album set. This is Live Austin City Limits.
Oh, it's a great series. I've got the Buck Owens and Johnny Cash ones.
Yeah, I've got the Chris Christopherson too.
Yeah.
Some days the song writes you. Now, Guy was also a luthier. He built really quality guitars.
Okay.
Workbench Songs. This was a Grammy nomination album.
I see all of those posted on New West whenever they have their sales on New West.
Yeah, Radio. Yeah. Better Days. This has got Homegrown Tomatoes, which is one of his popular songs. South Coast, Texas. This is an early album. Some of these early ones can get pricey.
Oh, yeah.
This is a promo stamped copy. Just Guy Clark. This is another early one. Oh, here's a Texas Cooking.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, just a great songwriter. It's all about the lyrics.
That's a great cover.
Yeah, and then that's his wife, Susanna. He actually did a song called Oh, Susanna for her. And then this is her again, and this album's called My Favorite Picture of You. She passed away in maybe a year or 2 before he did, but I think he died of a broken heart. They were together for a long time.
Yeah. That's a great tune. My Favorite Picture of You.
Yeah, and then you've probably seen Heart-Worn Highways, the documentary, Towns Van Zandt.
Yeah.
Hey, Scotty. Sorry to leave you hanging, man.
Hey. Hey, Scott. Hey, guys. I was cooking. That's why I didn't come up before. I was finishing cooking.
Oh, okay.
Stuff, so, yeah.
But there's that Heart-Worn Highway. Guy Clark's in it. Towns Van Zandt, Rodney Crowell, and they're all so young.
Yeah.
But and Steve Earle's there, and just all
Yeah.
these amazing songwriters all together in this old rundown house, and they're sitting picking in the kitchen. It's just amazing.
Yeah, I'm seeing Steve for the first time next month at a little venue here. It's his Alone and acoustic tour.
And he always has good stories too.
Yeah,
That's what I love, is when a musician tells you a story before he plays a song and draws you into the music.
He's a very cool guy. I met him through the radio station. I met him. He came to do one of our fundraisers, and he's a cool guy to hang out with. He's very funny, very sarcastic.
I have not heard the new Marty Stuart Space Junk, but I hear it's pretty good. It's almost.
Matt's going crazy for it. Yeah.
How do you describe that?
It is I don't know, spaghetti western, but with that surf rock. Obviously with that cosmic psychedelia. I mean, if you've heard his last couple of records, Way Out West and Altitude, which are fantastic, I recommend them a million times over. He has instrumentals on both of those as well, and a couple of these have made the circuits, in his live sets. So I've heard a couple of these live, and then when I got this thing, I mean, who would have thought this was the album that kind of got away from people for Record Store?
Yeah, because nobody was really. Well, Mazzy did a video on it, but nobody was really talking about it.
I put up a video a couple of days ago.
Did you?
Yeah, I think Marty just put out a music video today too for one of the tracks. But I hope it makes some sort of release, even if it's, just a CD or if they stream it or whatever they do, because it is really good. Plus, the artwork is done by one Herb Alpert.
Yes. Yeah. How bizarre is that?
Yeah. From 2017, I think, is the piece.
Wow.
Is that because the artwork's called Space Junk?
No. I mean, there's what's it called? It's called Dreamcatcher. The artwork, but I mean there is a song called Space Junk on here, but no, I mean it. Everybody has talked. I've said it too. It's a double record. You think you'd get bored by hearing surf rock tunes, but that Telecaster, that B bender guitar that Marty plays, the Clarence White guitar, it is just it keeps you hooked the whole time, and it moves quickly too. But, yeah, it's going for big bucks. I see somebody saying they paid a ton of money for it.
Oh, really?
I listened to the Waterboys. I listened to the Steve Earle song on there, and I liked it. The new Waterboys, which is about Dustin Hoffman, basically. Or not Dustin Hoffman.
Dustin Hopper.
Yeah, Dennis Hopper. Yeah.
Dennis Hopper. Okay. Marty's still married to Connie Smith. He's always talking about her. I think they're like 12 years apart. She's about 12 years older than he is.
Yeah.
Now, have you guys seen Justin Townes Earle?
I never got to see him.
I've never seen him, no.
I saw him maybe 4 times, maybe.
Him and Tom Petty were like the two that got away from me live. And
I never saw Tom Petty either, yeah.
I do have the Justin Townes Earle signature parlor guitar that he put out.
Oh, really?
With Recording King. Yeah, it's a fun little guitar. I would show it. It's at my fiance's house, but it's a fun little guitar, and he had his hands in the craft of it before his death. I still need to get that set.
Yeah, he's so talented. What a loss that was. Live. This was a record store.
I have that one. Yeah, I have that one.
And then I've got some autographed CDs because back when I was seeing them in concert, I had CDs with me.
Yuma's a great EP. That has doesn't that have John Henry on it? They killed John Henry.
Let me see.
On Yuma, I believe it's on there.
No. Let me see. It's got Ghost of Virginia, You Can't Leave, Yuma, I Don't Care.
I don't care. That's what I'm thinking.
I don't care.
Yeah, it's fast paced like John Henry. I don't
John
care.
Henry's good. I love
Oh,
that song, the way he does it.
Well, I think the story was that, obviously Steve Earle was very hard on him for being a songwriter because they always had a, strenuous relationship. There were tons of drugs, all that, good stuff that comes with songwriting. Yeah. But I think the story was that Steve Earle said, you can be a good songwriter when you have a John Henry song, because John Henry songs, were all over the folk scene. And so he wrote the song, and Steve kind of just was like, all right.
Okay. Yeah. It's a great song.
Yeah.
I saw Justin with Jason Isbell at the Showbox in Seattle.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I know there was some hot conversation with Weather Vanes. He had that track
that's a good album.
That what Justin Towns Earle's his widow was saying, she didn't like that he was using Justin as a form of commercialism. I don't know the full story of it.
Well, you want the music out there though.
Yeah. Because I
did some videos of them. I've got, I don't know, 5 or 6 different videos of songs that I shot of him at the Tractor Tavern in Seattle or in Ballard, Washington.
Okay.
And then we saw him do an in-store at Silver Platters. He did that song, My Mother's Eyes.
Mama's Eyes, yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, that's a great tune.
I gotta listen more of him.
Yeah,
I've listened to more of him. I always listen to Steve. I never really listen. I have a couple of Justins, but on CD. But
your intro, you should get the Steve Earle tribute that he did for him called JT. Yeah,
I have that.
Do you have that? Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, it's really good.
Yeah, because he does John Henry on there, and he also does. Yeah, I mean Justin's big song was Harlem River Blues. Oh man.
God, what a great player he was, a picker, and just the perfect voice, just wow.
Yeah, his thumb on a guitar was a machine. Just hitting those bass notes, just boom, 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 boom. Just I think somebody said it was his thumb was like a sledgehammer on a guitar.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
But no, somebody who was it? Somebody had mentioned Isbell. I mean, I know everybody's been talking about this one.
The
Foxes in the Snow record.
I've been playing Bury Me every week on my show.
Oh, really?
It's an excellent song.
And is
that his newest one?
Yeah.
It's just him playing guitar.
Yeah,
I think Elliot kind of panned it.
Elliot wasn't crazy the first. He just did a first time listen review.
Yeah,
but it's interesting because it was mentioned as the divorce album, from Amanda, but the cover art,
Divorce will turn you out a really good album.
Oh yeah, I mean Blood on the Tracks. I mean, Tunnel of Love. But this cover art was done by the girl that he's dating now.
Yes.
So it's half the songs are divorce, half of them are oh, I'm in love again kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So, it's an interesting
it's me and I'm in love again. And the love and sense, and when. That's one of my songs. I love that song too.
Yeah.
Nope, I didn't get Wicked. Didn't try to either.
I did not get it.
William, how you doing?
No. I tried to watch that movie 3 times. I couldn't get through it. I could not get past Ariana Grande on it. She was driving me nuts. I thought she was overacting. I didn't dig it. And I like her, but I just didn't like her in that. So
interesting.
I tried.
Yeah, well, better than I,
My introduction to Americana, I didn't even get into it at the time. I just had a friend at work that was obsessed with old 97s and Uncle Tupelo. He used to bring that to work all the time, and I was like, I don't get why are you into this music, And it wasn't until Wilco years later that I, actually started to go backwards and check stuff out. But
I even had trouble getting into Wilco myself. Except for Yankee Foxtrot Hotel. I think that one, I love that album. But otherwise, It's hard.
Being There was really. The first time I heard them it was on some HBO TV show that used to showcase new bands or bands that you should know. I forget the name of the show. It didn't last very long, but they impressed me more than any other band that I saw on there. And it was when the Summer Teeth was out, and I fell in love with that. I fell in love with that. I said the guy's got the strangest voice, but I just love these songs, and that's when I got into them. And then the movie came out and all that stuff, and then I just started falling in love with everything.
Well, it's funny. I have a few Wilco albums. Most of them, were gifts to me because I tried listening to Yankee Foxtrot a few years ago, and I was like, and the album that I heard that I was like, oh, okay, maybe I'll love Wilco was AM, their first record.
Okay.
Which is essentially, part 2 from Uncle Tupelo. I mean, it sounds like a Tupelo record. But then, it went from there, then into Summer Teeth.
I love being there. I thought Being There was really, to me, that's their good. That's a really good record for me. I really dug that one a lot.
Yeah, Tweety,
especially for Tweety, because his guitar work on there and his singing, everything on that is so good on Being There.
He's one of those guys that I really have a ton of respect for. I mean, kind of like somebody mentioned Jack White earlier. I mean, Jack White. I listened to Entering Heaven Alive today, and I'm not a Jack White music fan. Like I can't. His voice doesn't
me
do it
too.
for me. I don't like the.
It depends on the song for me. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, even the effects on the guitar can be way too much for me. He just, because he's a big fan of take a thrift store guitar, put all sorts of junk on it, and then rip it through an amp. That's just not for me. But with that being said, him, Tweety, those guys I respect so much because they hold that, they keep that flame burning from the old guys, the old guard of people. And they try to keep it going. And obviously, what Jack does for vinyl is just incredible.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So, but
I used to listen to a lot of outlaw country on Sirius XM.
Yeah, Channel 6.
Then I started going to Hardly Strictly Bluegrass Festival in Golden Gate Park. I think I went to 3 of those, and they were free. It was a free 3-day festival with all the greatest bands you're ever going to want to see. On 5 or 7 different stages. Great place to see music, and they're still doing it. I think it's the first weekend in October. It's a free festival every year.
Yeah,
started out strictly bluegrass, and then they started adding more of all country Americana stuff, so they called it Hardly Strictly Bluegrass.
Well, it's kind of like Jazz Fest in New Orleans. I mean, how many jazz artists actually play? You got the Who,
not that many anymore.
The Rolling Stones,
yeah. What'd you think of that deal with the Who firing Zach Starkey?
I was just talking about that with some buddies today. I think it comes down to Daltrey being an old curmudgeon,
prima donna,
and his hearing. So more than likely, I mean, they're playing in the Albert Hall. That's kind of apparently where the last straw fell. And Daltrey was like, "You're not playing like you used to." But from what I understand, Zach had a blood clot or something in his leg a year or so ago, and he had to change how he played. But he said it wasn't noticeable enough to
and he's playing an electronic drum kit. So whatever Daltrey's hearing is coming from the monitor mix. It has nothing to do with what Zach's doing.
And he's deaf in one ear.
So if he's going to be upset with somebody, he should be upset with whoever's running the stage monitors.
Right.
The in-ear monitor. Yeah.
And I mean, Zach was, Keith's godson. I mean, Keith was the one who taught him how to play. So Zach is the only one.
Bought him his first drum kit.
Yeah.
Not Ringo.
Not Ringo. No, because why would you want to do what your dad does? That's not cool.
Yeah,
but then it's oh, here's Uncle Keith comes in. It's oh well, let me straighten up.
And then speaking of Roger Daltrey, a friend of mine, Dan Byrne, opened for Roger on his solo tour.
Dan Byrne.
You know Dan Byrne?
Yes, he's so good.
Yeah,
the best songs ever.
Great songwriter. Doesn't get any credit.
Yeah,
I mean, he wrote a lot of the
he does
songs
in this
in
neck of the
Walk
woods.
Hard, the Dewey Cox story.
Yeah.
He wrote songs for Get Him to the Greek.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he's a great songwriter.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've known Dan since like '96.
Wow. I was never really a big Roger Daltrey fan, to be honest with you.
Really?
Yeah. I like Towns. I liked everybody else in the band. I just didn't like his voice.
Yeah,
I didn't like his
agree.
stage presence. I didn't like him. I just didn't. I
Wow.
was like, I thought the other two were just, they made the Who for me. I mean, Townsend and I just never liked the guy. I thought he was all show for me.
Gosh,
To me.
Chris, I forgot all of that. I even forgot Kenny Jones was in the band.
Yeah.
It was so long ago.
Yeah. He was on 2 albums. Yeah. No, I mean, not that it's Americana, but yeah, I mean, for me, Daltrey, for me, Daltrey is like what I envision a rock front man. I mean, even more than, Robert Plant or, I mean, I see, with the Hackney Diamonds thing there. I mean, Mick was like the close contender for me for like best rock front man.
Well, I think for me, Daltrey, a lot of people kind of emulated him because he did a lot of those real, I call them the cliche rock moves and all that kind of stuff. I just didn't get into. I preferred.
Yeah, but didn't he?
I preferred Robert Plant because Robert Plant had that sexual. There was something messy and sexual about what he was doing that was not so perfection. Rock fists and all that kind of stuff. He didn't do all that stuff.
Swinging the microphone.
Yeah. I like the messy. I might like the messiness, the almost drunken, slovenly kind of thing. I just thought that was more real.
Yeah, but the thing that the Who and Led Zeppelin, when you really think about it, they were just trios with a vocalist.
Yeah.
I mean, so I mean, not unlike Cream or any of these other bands, but they just had an extra vocalist.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I did a video earlier today to shamelessly promote here, talking about this guy right here, Gene Parsons from the Byrds.
Oh yeah, okay.
Harry, have you heard his records?
No, I don't think so.
Well, you would like this. So this is the first record that he put out. It's called Kindling. And
now, how did they get that title from that picture?
Oh, I know. Who knows? It's all those pumpkin rolls.
A lot of kindling there.
Yeah. But he put out a couple of country rock albums. He put out this one after the Byrds had split. And, Clarence White is all over this. Ralph Stanley actually sings on one tune. What's his name? What's his name from Little Feat? Bill Payne.
Oh,
Bill Payne.
Keyboards.
Yeah, he's on here, and he does a version of a Willin on here. But it's just like this.
Big sauce.
It's got this very warm production to it, and this guy, I mean, he was the drummer, after Sweetheart of the Rodeo, for those last 4 or 5 albums, but he could play banjo, guitar, harmonica, beautiful voice, and he was the guy with Clarence White who invented that B-bender. But he's still around and kicking and doing, making B-bender guitars, but I have a series where I kind of talk about lesser known albums in my collection. And this is one that I've recently gotten into. Gene Parsons, Michael, from the Byrds. And yeah, just if you like a really, really like warm country rock album, this is really good. Then he joined the Burrito Brothers, I think after Graham Parsons had passed away. And he's no relation to Graham Parsons, just same last name. But he was in the Burrito Brothers for a while. Then he left, and then he put out a second album. And then I think he did one more, maybe in like the early 2000s. But he was in and out of all sorts of bands. But really great country rock, smooth vocals.
Is that a new release?
No, I don't think it's ever been reissued. It's on It's on the Warner Brothers, the classic Warner Brothers label there.
Okay.
Apparently, this one and the other one's called Melodies. It's called Melodies, and the big song on that was called Melodies of a Bird in Flight, which was about Clarence, who had since passed away at that point. But no, this is a really great tune. Look up the song, the opening track, Monument, on here, and see if you dig this. And it's one of those records that, from what I understand, this one is harder to find than the two. But I got this thing for $16. It was because a couple of my friends were like, you need to get that record. I actually went back in the record store because I left it, and they're like, you got to go around and get this. So I did, and I've been spinning it quite a bit of late.
I'll look for it.
Yeah. But anyway.
Well, Billiam doesn't give up. I got to give him credit. He doesn't give up. Or whoever it is. People have nothing else to do,
There's another one here, and I don't know who has heard of this artist. Sierra Farrell. Do you all know her at all?
Yeah, I've heard of her.
She's very good. Her voice, she kind of pulls some like the old 50s and 60s country vocals, like kind of like Kitty Wells a little bit. But I think she's from rural West Virginia. And this has kind of been her breakthrough, called Trail of Flowers. And she is huge right now on the festival circuit. She plays fiddle, she plays guitar, just a really unique tone to her voice. And again, it's kind of like this, the lyrics are kind of this trippy kind of, new Americana that people are loving. But she is just fantastic. And she wears, on stage, she wears these huge, sometimes Victorian era dresses, and really plays up the theatrics of it.
Yeah.
But her voice is so powerful. She does a version of the John Anderson song, not Yes, is John Anderson, country singer John Anderson. She does a song of his called Years on a tribute album that was produced by Dan Auerbach of the Black Keys. And it is just fantastic. She is toward the top of my, want to see list, but she is the number one thing right now in the Americana world. Just really, really good stuff. Really, really unique.
Speaking of John Anderson, what song did he do that was written by Billy Joe Shaver?
I'm Just an Old Chunk of Coal, right?
Yeah, very good. Very good.
Yeah. Yeah. I saw John, him and one other guy, an acoustic show. I was writing for a music venue about the year after I got out of college, and I was able to go to a lot of shows for free, and he did an unplugged show, and I remember him doing that. It was just fantastic. But he also did, I remember he did a version of Long Black Veil at that show as well, and he dedicated it to Charlie Daniels, who recently
wrote that song?
Long Black Veil.
Because that's been covered by so many people.
Yeah, I think it's one of those songs that you think it's older than it is.
Early 70s, right?
Probably. There's a great version by the Chieftains that they did with Mick Jagger on lead, and then Johnny Cash sang it a bunch as well.
Yeah. Oh, you guys are familiar with Wax? You guys are familiar with Waxahachie, right?
I know Waxahachie, but I haven't listened to him.
It's a young lady. She's amazing. She's Americana.
Yeah,
singer songwriter, really good.
Didn't she just do a song with, was it Charles Wesley Godwin that did a song with her recently?
I haven't heard the recent stuff from her. I know she worked a lot with Kevin Morby, or she had a relationship with him or something like that. Mm-hmm. But I saw her a few years ago. She's really good.
Hello, Piccolina.
Really good.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hey, how are you?
Now, and the other guy that I got to talk about is Doug Somm. Everything Doug's ever done in any band he's been in, any different group he's been with, I just love everything he's done.
He's one of those guys I really want to. I've never jumped into him. Never. but people
Yeah,
talk
I mean,
about
he
him
was
a
with
lot.
Sir Douglas Quintet. He was with the Texas Tornadoes, the solo stuff. He did Tex-Mex stuff. He was probably on 30 different record labels.
Oh wow.
A lot of singles were released, on this label, and then another single on another one. Yeah, Doug Sahm is amazing.
He was like how Eric Clapton was in different bands.
Yeah, but he was, yeah. It was always his band, It was always some of them were core members would go with him to these different bands.
Yeah.
But he tells the story. I read his bio. He said he came off the road from a tour one day and came home and found Bob Dylan sleeping on his couch.
Mm. Wow.
Now, have you guys heard of a band called Asylum Street Spankers?
Oh God, I've seen them like maybe 3 times. They're
love
hilarious. Hilarious. Beer Run.
Beer Run, yeah. Yeah, and they got sitting here with this blade of grass. Hey, Darren. Asylum Street Spankers was anywhere from like 7 to maybe 9 different people, totally acoustic, no electric amplification. They would just, they have the mic set up. They play to these mics.
And
they
had the woman, she played the song. Remember, she played the song.
Yeah. And they were just such a good band. They did like
hilarious.
They would take songs from the 30s or the 40s and they'd update them. And like one song they did was called "Shave 'Em Dry." Another one they did was the Scrotum song.
Oh gosh.
But they were such a fun band to see live. I probably saw them 7 or 8 times. I think they were out of Austin initially.
I don't have any albums of those. I have CDs of this. That one.
Yeah, Spanker Madness.
Yeah.
I've got a lot of their. Again, we used to record their shows. Let me show you.
I like this song, "Knock Myself Out." That's a good one.
Yeah, I've never heard of this.
Yeah, they're really good. They even do this cover. What is it? They do a cover of "Dances Mess Around" by B-52s, but their version of it is really good. They're very funny, and they sing a lot about.
I can't find the CDs at the moment, but I used to record the shows. Too. And my friend would make all the artwork for them and make CDs. And then next year, when they would come back to town, she would give them a copy of each one of the people in the band would get a copy of the show on CD.
Harry, did you ever hear their version of "Dance This Mess Around" by B-52s?
No.
Yeah, it's on this one here.
I've got that CD, so I have heard it then.
Mercurial, yeah.
Alex.
They're good.
Yeah.
They're fun.
And another band that I liked was Moxie Fruvis. They were from Ontario, I think. They were very much like the Monkees.
Mm-hmm. The band that I like is the brothers. The Avett Brothers.
Oh no,
Americana.
Oh man,
yeah,
really good.
I love the Avett.
Really good.
They're probably a top 5 band for me. I'm seeing them next month in Richmond.
Are you?
Virginia. Yeah, it'll be about the 4th time that I'm seeing them, I think.
Their harmonies is just.
Oh yeah, and
amazing.
Seth. They played. Obviously they're on the American label, the Rick Rubin label. Been there since 2009, I think. And yeah, some of those albums. They've got Ben Montench from the Heartbreakers. He's playing on it. Tremble Blood Turtles too. I saw Turtles.
Great, yeah. We do a song by them called "Whiskey" in open mic.
Yeah, I know that song.
Yeah, and then another one. I forget the name of it, but there's another one we do by them.
They are a fast playing band. Those guys. They're from Minnesota.
Yeah. There's another group. There's a duo. They're called Penny and Sparrow.
Yeah, I've heard of them. Excellent.
Oh my God, the harmonies on those guys are just the killer, and the guitar work. Oh my God, love them. They have this one album called Finch. That's to me like I can listen to that all day.
Yeah.
So good. Beautiful, beautiful music. Yeah.
Well, I mean, this poster right here is for a group called Watch House. They're from North Carolina. They're a husband and wife duo, and they used to be called Mandolin Orange. That was what they made them very famous. And then they, for some reason, I can think in 2021, they changed their name to Watch House, and they're about to put out their second record under that name. But they're just, it's not, it's very soft duo harmonies. Not really a lot of, foot stomping kind of stuff, but I mean, they were influenced by, the music of like the bluegrass world. Obviously they have mandolin and fiddle and things like that, but it's more very ballady, very soft. I think you were talking about harmonies, Scott. Try out, just look up Mandolin Orange or Watch House, and really any song, just click on it and see what you think.
Okay.
I'm seeing the AVIT. It's in Richmond. I think it's at the race. It might be at the Raceway down there. They have a racetrack. So it's an outdoor place. But yeah, I've seen. I saw Trampled by Turtles open for them. And I think I've seen.
What's the lead guy's name? I forget it. I've got his solo album too.
Well, both guys kind of take both. Both guys are pretty much 50-50, but Seth is the one who's put out a bunch of solo albums.
No,
Seth
I'm thinking, not the Avett Brothers. I'm talking about
Trampled by Turtles.
Trampled by Turtles.
His name is
It's a hard name for me to remember.
Is it? Shoot, my brain keeps going to Taylor.
Somebody might know out there.
Or Ben.
Let me see here. I gotta look it up.
Man. I'm trying to get there.
Let's see. They're from Minnesota. That I didn't know.
Dave Simonette.
Dave
No.
Dave Stinnett. Yeah.
Simonette.
There's another. What's the other guy that's in it?
Tim Saxhog, Dave Carroll, Ryan Young.
Okay, hang on a minute. Here.
And all the songs are written by Dave Simonette.
Yeah.
Or Simonette, maybe? I don't know.
What a name, huh? No, it's not.
Yeah, I mean, Dave's the main singer and everything. I mean,
Okay. I was thinking of somebody else then.
Yeah, I don't know who else it would be.
There's another artist that I like. Her name is Courtney Marie Andrews. Is her name? Courtney Marie Andrews, I think. She's kind of like she makes me think of a young Linda Ronstadt. Got a very powerful voice like that. I think her name's Courtney Marie Andrews. Really good. Another good singer-songwriter.
Walrus is Dave Simonette, you know?
Yeah. That's the guy from Trampled by Turtles.
That's him.
Okay.
Yeah, Dave Simonette, yeah.
Now, a band that I don't know anything about, never heard them, is Mumford and Sons.
Yeah.
And then a band that I just started listening to is Dawes, when I kind of like Dawes.
Yeah.
Dawes is good.
Yeah, Dawes really pulls from like that Laurel Canyon stuff. Like they were the ones they were both really affected by the fires.
Oh, were they?
Yeah. I know Alex is in the chat. He's a big Dawes guy, beer and vinyl. But one of them lost their home, and then the other one lost the studio where they record.
Wow.
And I think it was the drummer. He lost 30 years of drums that he collected.
Wow.
Guitars and all sorts of gear. So they were really big during the Grammys. Like they opened with "I Love L.A." the Randy Newman song. And they had Sheryl Crow, Brittany Howard, Brad Paisley were all in that super group for St. Vincent, I think was one of them. Dawes, they actually play Ben Tench, I mentioned earlier from the Heartbreakers, he has a solo album that just came out on Dark Horse Records, George Harrison's label. And the Dawes guys are, Taylor Goldsmith, that's the name. Taylor is all over the Benmont record. He's playing guitar and everything, and he's got a strong connection with him. And so does Sarah Watkins from Nickel Creek. Somebody mentioned them earlier. Yeah, there's Alex.
I ended up getting 2 of their albums from Barnes and Noble because they had autograph copies.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
Exclusives. So I bought them for the autographs, and then, believe it or not, it was probably 2 or 3 years before I opened them to play them. And I kind of like them. So
yeah. Yeah, I know. I mean, Alex has been trying to get me into them for a bit, and I feel like I'm on the verge of moving into their music.
Now, here's somebody that people seem to either love or hate, and tell me how you feel. And I'm in the middle. I don't like her one way or the other, and that's Brandi Carlile.
Oh, Brandi.
She's from like 20 minutes up the road from us is where she's from.
I forgot. Yeah, I forgot.
But it never did anything for me.
I saw her in concert. That's the first time that she didn't do it for me either on recordings, but when I saw her live, totally different vibe. I really got into it after I saw her at a festival. She was really, really good. She put on a great. I was going to leave because she was the headliner, and I was like, I've had enough. I don't know her. I don't really get. And I stayed. I put my chair back out. I was like, oh wow.
Yeah, she's from a small town here called Enumclaw, Washington.
Well, here's the thing with Brandi, and I think that she has she's beyond talented. I mean,
well, isn't a lot of it the twins though?
They help the twins in her band.
They do like the producing and
and they're her brother-in-law. I mean, she's married to their sister, I believe is how it works.
Okay.
But she does have a fantastic version of Madman Across the Water, the Elton John song.
Oh yeah,
really? And she just did an album with him.
Yeah, and she just did.
It just came out.
Who Believes in Angels or something
so
like that.
So who's trying to help whose career there?
I think she's helping him because she's like, I mean, she just did that whole thing with Joni Mitchell, which she got Joni Mitchell out of retirement, I guess.
Yeah,
she's latching out to her idols. She's grabbing her idols.
Who was it that just did the video? five bands that I can't.
Glenn.
Oh yeah. Kellerman.
Glenn. He said she's so far up Joni Mitchell's ass.
Yeah. Oh, he can't stand her.
That was a funny video.
Yeah, that was good. I liked it. Well, the one band that I would have added to that, and number one in my opinion, that bore me to death is Fleetwood Mac. I'm so tired of hearing Fleetwood Mac.
Well, they're still good. It's just that they've been overplayed. I mean, they just, I think they're just overplayed.
Yeah, exactly. Because I'm on Sirius XM. And I can flip through the channels, and I'll always find a Fleetwood Mac song.
I know CBS did a story with Elton and Brandi. There was like an extended interview on YouTube, but Elton has already said, he's like, I would love to keep making records with Brandi. He said, but I think that her next move should be a Brandi Carlile record. He said, Elton's always been an advocate for like younger people, and we're like, not that she's younger. I mean, she's like 45.
Well, he helped Kiki D out and
Kiki D, George Michael.
Leon Russell.
I
thought that was a really good album.
Yeah. And Leon was able to essentially live the rest of his days not, scrounging for money like he was before. But no,
Nathan. I like the early Fleetwood Mac. It's the later Fleetwood Mac I'm not crazy about.
I dug the later Fleetwood Mac. It's just that they played it so much on the radio, just like the Eagles. It became like the Eagles. You know what I mean? Like too much.
But that was one of Glenn's picks too. Was the Eagles.
Yeah. This is the girl I was telling you about, Courtney. Well, this is what she looks like anyway. Courtney Marie Andrews. She's really good. It's got this one called Loose Future. It's really good. Very good singer-songwriter. Love her.
Alex, you're hilarious.
Yeah.
You know, I find it hard to get into these new artists because, and I forget who, it might have been Melinda Murphy did a video about, I forget, so I'm not going to give the proper credit to who said it. But what they said is the music that you grew up with is the music you're passionate about because you lived it. It's so hard to just pick up an album today from a band and get passion or really have it affect you, or at my age it is.
For me, it's what they're writing, especially if they're writing their own songs. It's what they're writing about, and if it speaks to me. And also, it's about the feeling. I mean, some people have really great voices or whatever, but there's other people who just are amazed that they just can put that. They can sell a song by giving you the feeling without selling it. Actually, you know what I mean? You know, there's some amazing. There's a singer-songwriter out there from New York. Her name is Emily King. And she's just, I mean, she's not Americana, but she's a singer-songwriter and incredible. I mean, when I heard her, I was like, who is this chick? I mean, it's just some of the young people that have this like a raw feeling that they have. And it goes back to the old kind of stuff, you know, as opposed to just people who have hooks all the time, you know?
Yeah. I do. I really like to listen to lyrics. To me, that's the most important thing, really. And then the music.
For me, lyrics, and also if even if you don't have the best voice, if you have the feeling, you know, like there's a singer who I think is very underrated, and she's actually, her father was multi-famous, Donny Hathaway's daughter, Layla Hathaway, and she, I mean, she to me. For any of the soul singers out there, she should be handed the baton from Aretha Franklin.
Who was the first person you mentioned, Scott?
Emily King. Emily King.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is it Emily King or Elle King?
No, not Elle King.
Because I would say she has a famous father too.
Yeah. Elle King Elle King's all right, but Emily King is killer. But she's just, you know, really good. But check out Layla Hathaway. That woman has an amazing, and she can split her voice. She just does incredible chord changes with her voice that just I've never heard anything, and without being show offy. Yeah. You know, like not like Mariah or Christina and all those girls. Are good. She's the real deal.
What do you think of Phoebe Snow?
Love her.
What a range there. Is she got a similar range like you're talking about where she can? Oh yeah, I mean,
she's more of an alto. You know, Layla Hathaway's got a deeper voice than this Phoebe Snow. I met Phoebe Snow. She was hilarious too. She was another. She used to be in a Christmas group called the something Carols. It was the Roaches and Phoebe Snow, because I knew Suzy Roach and all them from New York. You know. And we ran in the same circles. But she was in this Christmas group with them. They used to do holiday stuff together down at the bitter end, I think, or some of the clubs down in the East Village. And I met her backstage. She was so funny, really nice lady, you know. But she's her second album. That's the Second Childhood. Blows me away every time I put it on. I have almost all of her albums. I love Phoebe Snow. Of course, how can you not have her in your psyche? I mean, she did so many commercials.
Oh, really?
She sang so many commercials. It's not.
Did she? Which ones would we know?
Oh God, she sang I think a chock full of nuts one. She did some kind of insurance one. She did a lot of commercials. Luther Vandross did too. Tons of commercials. Tons. Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's how you made your money while you were trying to make it, you know?
Yeah. I mean, that's what Elton John did. I mean, not commercials, but he was doing like those like cheap budget records.
Yeah, those like K-Tel 20 great hits not by the original artist.
No, he was trying to sing. Like
Did
him,
Yeah.
Did you know that Elton John was Patti LaBelle's piano player?
No.
Yeah,
really?
he was. Yeah, for years he was. He played piano for LaBelle, Patti LaBelle and the Bluebells. And her story about him was that like she likes to cook. She always liked to cook, and she would bring to gigs. She would bring Tupperwares full of food, and he would take the food and he would never return her Tupperwares because he still has my Tupperwares.
That's fine.
And LaBelle actually sang backup on an album for Laura Nero.
That's somebody I never got into.
Patty?
No, Laura Nero.
Oh, I love
I like
Laura
her
Nero.
songs. I just didn't like her doing them.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, she didn't have the best voice, but again, it was the feeling. It was to me, from the feeling. You know, it's one of those people that, you know.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Her actually, the British in the UK, the record store day in the UK has one of her albums, her last album, Angel in the Dark, I think it's called, before she passed away. I think she was sick at the time, but she does 8 of her songs and she does 8 covers on that record. It's an incredible record, and I can't believe we didn't have it in America. She's an American artist, and we didn't have it in American Record Store Day.
Did she write "And When I Die"?
I think so. She sang something that Blood, Sweat, and Tears sang.
Yeah.
She wrote some. Yeah, I think that is that one. She also did Stone Soul Picnic and
Yeah, great song.
Eli's Coming, of course. You know,
Yeah.
she wrote incredible songs. Yeah.
Yeah, Laura Wyoming Davis says she wrote "And When I Die." It's what a
Yeah.
good song it is.
Yeah.
Well, fellas, I'm gonna have to.
I was just gonna say, I think I'm gonna wrap
Yeah.
it up because she wants to go outside and she would not leave me alone until I take her out.
Well, this was cool, Harry.
Well, it was fun.
Thanks, Sam. Thanks, Scotty, and thanks everybody in
Yeah.
the Peanut Gallery.
Good to see you, Scott.
Take care, guys.
All right, bye,
See
y'all.
y'all later.
Bye.